So, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us today during the Lunch and Learn session. My name is Yuning, along with Margaret and Lane. We are dietetic interns from Chicago Medicine Ingalls Memorial Hospital. So today, our talk is about summer nutrition and wellness. We will talk to you about the benefits of adding more fruits and vegetables in your diet. And then we're going to talk about the importance of hydration. And then we will finish with some great summer physical activity tips. So before getting started, we would like to thank Avalon, the registered dietitian here at Three Crown Park, who reviewed our work and provided guidance throughout. So now let's get started. So now in this slide, I'm going to go over some health benefits of consuming a diet high in fruits and vegetables. So a diet rich in vegetables and fruits can lower blood pressure. It can also reduce risk of heart disease and stroke, prevent some type of cancer, lower the risk of eye and digestive problems, and also has positive effect to blood sugar, which can help keep appetite in check. Now, eating non-starchy vegetables and fruits like apples, pears, and green leafy vegetables may even promote weight loss and to achieve better weight maintenance. So their low glycemic loads also prevents blood sugar from spiking that can actually increase hunger sensation. So honestly, I can't believe it's already mid-May and summer is actually approaching. Personally, I think there is nothing tastes better on a hot summer day than a fresh piece of fruits and vegetable, because fresh fruits are low in calorie, sodium and fat. They provide essential nutrients for your health and also for the maintenance of your body. Fresh vegetables are another food that can be enjoyed as well. They contain many nutrients such as vitamin A, C, dietary fibers, and also potassium as well. And as you can see from the screen, it's according to the research, it's recommended to eat 2.5 to 3 cups of vegetables and 1.5 to 2 cups of fruits every day to maintain good health. So here is just some of my summer fruits recommendations here. There are tons of fruits and vegetables, but like as I said, you are more than welcome to choose whichever that you like. Here is just some of my recommendations. So the first one is peach. It's a sweet and juicy summer staple fruit. Peaches are really rich in vitamin A, which supports eye, immune system, and skin health. The second one that I recommend here is lime and lemon. They are not just a way to cool off in the heat. They also provide nutritional benefits because they're both good sources of vitamin C and type of essential vitamins that really supports bone and immune system health. My suggestion to eat this is to make them into lemonade or just squeeze a little bit of lime or lemon into your water bottle when drinking water or while you enjoy your tea. So the next fruit here that I'm gonna talk about is mixed berries like cherries, blueberries, and strawberries. So the cherries are really rich in potassium, and strawberries are full of vitamin C as well. And then blueberries actually contains flavonoids. It's a type of antioxidant that supports total health. So they're really good for you. Plus, they're really delicious as well. Now that I've talked about some delicious fruits, I need to also talk about vegetable as well. So fresh vegetables, as I said, they are really good for your health. They contain many nutrients such as vitamin A, C, dietary fibers, and potassium. So now I want to dive deeper into some of the vegetable recommendations for summertime. The first one, as you can see from the arrow, is tomato. So basically, a medium-sized fresh summer tomato is an excellent source of vitamin C. And if you eat them in season, which is summer, you will get twice as much vitamin C as at any other time of the year. Ripe tomatoes also contain the carotenoid lycopene, which is the element that makes the tomatoes red, which it helps to prevent some type of cancer, particularly for prostate cancer. And the second vegetable here is cucumber. So just think about how cucumber can kind of cools you down when you eat it in summer. Actually, its most important nutritional contribution is probably refreshment, as it has 95% of water content. So a cup of cucumber slice is actually nearly it actually provides similar water content as a glass of water. So the next vegetable recommendation here is zucchini. It is kind of surprised to know that zucchini has just 29 calories per 1 cup. It offers tons of good nutrients in there. It offers lutein, beta carotene, and also has tons of antioxidants there that promote good vision. Additional nutrients also include potassium, magnesium, folate, fiber, vitamin A and C as well. So now I think it's a good time for some tips to add more vegetable and fruits. So the first one is to keep fruit where you can see it. It may be nice to place several ready-to-eat and washed whole fruits in a bowl, or store chopped colorful fruits in a glass bowl in the refrigerator, so that whenever you want to eat it, you know it's in there, and then you can just go and get it. The second tip is to explore the produce aisle and choose something new. So variety and colors are the key to a healthy diet. So on most days, it might be nice to try to get at least 1 serving of each of the following categories, like 1 serving of dark green leafy vegetables, 1 serving of yellow or orange fruits and vegetables, and then also 1 serving of the red fruits and vegetables like legumes and peas, and also like citrus fruits. And the third tip here is to skip the potatoes. Since potato has a really high carb content, choose other vegetables that are packed with different nutrients and more slowly digested carbohydrate may be beneficial for you to add a variety of different nutrients in your diet. And the last one is to make the fruits and vegetable into a meal. So try to cook new recipes that include more vegetables, or maybe try to eat more salad and soups, and just a few stir-fry vegetables that it may be a good idea to increase the number of tasty fruits and vegetables in your meals. Now we'll be moving on to talk about the importance of hydration, and then I'll leave it up to Margaret to tell you all more about it.
Thank you, Yuning, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Margaret, and I will be discussing the summertime and hydration with you. Today, we will go over signs and symptoms of dehydration, also other ways to prevent dehydration, and tips to stay hydrated during the warmer months ahead. So let's get started. About 60% of your body is made out of water. Proper hydration helps us keep your body, all your body systems working well. And staying hydrated may help reduce your risk of developing kidney stones, urinary tract infections, as well as helps prevent constipation. We'll go back here. But please note, if you are experiencing any of these symptoms, please contact your nurse or doctor for further evaluation. Drinking water in between meals can also help you feel fuller longer, and also helps avoid snacking if you're trying to avoid weight gain. Try to focus on adequate hydration without overhydrating. So here are some signs and symptoms of dehydration. As we age, our thirst mechanisms often diminish. We might not feel as thirsty, but feeling thirsty is one sign that our body needs more fluids. So it's important to drink water throughout the day, even if you don't feel thirsty. Flushed skin, fatigue, weakness, and dizziness may also signal to us that we may need to be drinking more water. Being dehydrated can cause faster breathing, an increased pulse rate, as well as decrease our capacity to engage in physical activity. Prolonged dehydration can also lead to confusion, UTIs, and constipation. So now that we reviewed some signs and symptoms of being dehydrated, let's look at some potential causes and what we can do to prevent it. As we age, we may lose the ability to detect being thirsty. On average, we want to aim to get about 7 to 8 glasses of water a day. That's about 56 to 64 ounces. Another way to look at it is about 3 to 4 16-ounce bottles of water each day. Increasing activity like walking or being out in the sun can cause us to perspire and sweat more. You should aim to replace your fluids if you are more active than usual. Also, if you get sick or have a fever or diarrhea, this causes us to lose fluids as well. One way to check if you're hydrated enough is a quick spot check throughout the day of your urine. Go ahead and glance at the color of your urine in the toilet, and if you see a light pale yellow, you may be doing a great job with your hydration status. However, just as a reminder, if you are taking a multivitamin, this can also turn your urine a bright color. You want to aim to a clear to light yellow, and that is your goal. This is just a simple spot check throughout the day, however. So if you are having concerns on hydration status or changes in your urine color, please bring this up with your doctor or nurse. So let's move on to some tips to increase your water consumption. If you don't often feel thirsty, you may want to try these tips. First, you can try to start getting into the habit of carrying a water bottle with you. Leave one at your desk or at your side table. Bring one with you in your bag or a purse. Out of sight, out of mind. So look for opportunities to stay hydrated. Water is best because it is sugar-free. Choosing water over soda can help us stay hydrated without the added calories or sugar. Try drinking around the clock. It's important to get fluids throughout the day. And if you're watching television, go ahead and use the commercial breaks to remind you to stop and take some sips of water. If you don't like the taste of water, go ahead and try adding some fruit juice, a fresh squeeze of lemon or lime to add some flavor. Even seltzer waters now have great flavors, and they're a nice way to add a little bubbly alternative instead of the sugar sweetened sodas. My last slide I have for you shows us that food can also have some water content as well. Although 80% of your daily water intake usually comes from beverages, the other 20% comes from foods. You can see here that the healthy foods can be a good source of water. Cucumbers, zucchini, watermelon, and lettuce all contain over 90% of water. Not to mention, they come with a lot of vitamins and minerals. Other foods with higher water content include apples, broth, celery, and peaches. Now that you know a little more about how to stay hydrated this summer, I will turn it over to Lane for the final part of our summertime lunch and learn.
Thanks, Margaret, for the introduction. My name is Lane, and now that we've talked about some ways to get more fruits and vegetables and how to stay hydrated in the summer, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about physical activity and how we can get a little more of that. So how much physical activity should you be getting? So according to the guidelines, adults 65 and older should be getting 150 minutes of moderate aerobic exercise or 75 minutes of vigorous aerobic exercise per week. And I will be explaining what the difference between these two is in the next few slides. So I'll give you a little bit more of an idea of what exercises they are, how much we should do, and things we can do to get moving during the summer. So just before we get started, in older adults, physical activity can actually decrease a lot of different things. So your risk for all-cause mortality, cardiovascular disease, hypertension, which is very prevalent in older adults, your incident of site-specific cancers, so like things like bladder cancer, breast cancer, colon cancer, and endometrial cancer, as well as some other ones. And it can also help prevent incidence of type 2 diabetes. It may help prevent falls by increasing your balance and muscles and the different areas that you may need to prevent those falls. It also can improve mental health and cognitive health. It can improve your sleep, which is a huge one because that aids in recovery to make sure that you can exercise the next day. It also helps improve adiposity, which kind of is your fat content on your body. So now that I've mentioned those things, I want to dive into what moderate and what vigorous activities are. And before I start this, I want to preface this by saying, before you get started with physical activity, it is a good idea to contact your doctor just to make sure that physical activity is going to be okay for you in the long run. So what are some examples of moderate aerobic activity? So the difference between moderate and vigorous is that when you're doing moderate exercises, you're not going to be really out of breath. You should be able to have a conversation with your buddy or whoever you're with, or just be able to speak a full conversation without getting out of breath. So things like brisk walking, biking less than 10 miles per hour, swimming can be also a moderate aerobic activity. Certain things like yoga, so getting some good stretching and some flexibility type of exercises. Also, light gardening. So I know that it's getting warm out, so there's some things that we can do to get outside as well and get your body moving. You can also do Tai Chi, is a moderate aerobic activity. Even cleaning around your living space, doing your laundry or doing some dishes, all of that actually counts as some moderate activity. As long as you're not doing this in very short bouts and you're kind of continually doing these things, they're considered moderate activity. Some other things are body weight exercises, which I'll explain a little bit more of different ones we could do in the next slide. Also seated exercises, and dancing is a really great one as well. So this moderate exercise would be dancing at a slower pace. So some simple dance moves, nothing too crazy. But when we move on to vigorous, as you can see at the bottom, dancing, you can do that more at a fast pace, and that would be more of your vigorous activity. So your vigorous activity is going to be the ones where you are a little out of breath, you can't really speak that full conversation to whoever you're with, and those are going to be either more intense activities. So things like jogging, biking greater than 10 miles per hour. So you notice the intensity goes up a little bit there. Also water aerobics, you're moving a little bit faster, a little bit more within these. So it's going to be a little bit harder on the body. Heavy gardening, so when you're pulling weeds, you're picking up heavy things when you're gardening, that's going to be more vigorous activity. Also, yoga still is on this one, just at a higher intensity. There's a bunch of different types of yoga that you can do that are different intensities and will make you more out of breath. Also, Tai Chi does still count in this, as long as you're doing it a little faster, getting yourself out of breath a little bit more as well. And then weightlifting, of course, has to be on this list. I know there's a nice gym downstairs here, so you can come down here and lift a little bit of weights, ride the bikes, do anything like that down here. Static hold exercises. And to explain that, static hold exercises are basically like if you were to do a squat and you were to hold it at the bottom. So those are exercises where you're holding in a specific position for longer periods of time. And this can include balance training, weightlifting, and much more. So now that I've explained the types of exercises that are moderate and vigorous, let's dive into how you can actually start adding activity into your daily routine. So to get started, you may have never done any of these things before. You may not have exercised in a long time. So there are certain things that you can do, especially when you're sitting a long time throughout the day. So certain exercises like leg lifts and extensions, you can do these while you're sitting down. Leg lifts are basically just when you're sitting or you're laying on the ground and you can lift your legs off the ground, engaging your core, getting those abdominal muscles working, as well as your leg muscles too. So extensions just basically means that you're straightening your leg out from the knee. So if you bend it and then you straighten it out in the air, that's an extension. You also can do things like this picture, over arm stretches. So just reaching to the sky. You can do it with one arm, you can do it with two arms, and so on and so forth. So another thing you can do is chair swivels. So if you can't happen to get up or anything like that, then maybe you can do some chair swivels. So just spinning and using your core to spin in the chair back and forth can actually engage your abdominal muscles and get you moving just a little bit. Torso twists are very similar, but you're keeping your feet planted on the ground, and you're moving your upper body side to side in a twisting motion to get your core activated as well. Another really good one is chair squats, or sit to stand, as I like to call it, which is basically where you get up from the chair and you sit back down in it. So it's a really simple exercise, but if you do that in multiple reps, it actually is a really good exercise to get started. You can also walk in place or jog in place, or you can walk around your house, you can walk outside, you can do any of those things to get started as well. Chair marches are also a good one. So just to lift your legs up and down, just like you're marching, but you're sitting down in your chair. So we'll move on to how to get started safely. So like I mentioned, that there may be many of you that either have exercised in a while or exercise a little here and there, but may need the extra step of being pushed in the right direction. So if you've never stepped foot in a gym or exercised before, that's definitely okay, but you need to consider a few things. So like I mentioned before, you should consult your doctor to see where you should start. So there's many, people at different physical activity levels. So consulting your doctor to figure out where you should start is a good idea. Make sure you check and maintain your blood sugars. So if you are someone that is experiencing diabetes or high blood sugars, then you should, high or low blood sugars, you should make sure that you check those before and after exercise. Also, something good to do is to find a fitness buddy so you can hold each other accountable. Not everybody is really into fitness, and it's hard to hold or get that motivation to do it every day. So getting a buddy to hold you accountable every day is a really great idea. Another thing you can do is set attainable goals each day. So some of those could be, I'm going to walk around the block today. I'm going to ride a mile on the bike, the stationary bike that's in the gym, or I'm going to go for a swim. So small goals, just making sure you set your intentions throughout the day. One good thing to do is to focus on the small wins. So even losing just a couple extra pounds can have a significant impact on your health. So when you step on that scale, you may be discouraged that you only lost a pound or two, but that actually could have a big impact on your health in the long run. So it's focusing on those small wins and just never getting discouraged with the activity level that you're at. And that is all I had for physical activity. I hope that you enjoyed Margaret and Uni and I's presentation on summer wellness. I hope that everybody has a wonderful day, and we will see you soon.